Hey guys, what's up? It's Rygar the Destroyer, and today we are going to be working on the Jabba's throne room display again. Now, at the end of last episode, we finished up this archway which covers Jabba's throne, and I am still so pleased with how it turned out. And it really finished up the last major piece of the foam construction, but there are some little tiny things that we need to finish up in today's episode. And that's what we're going to be doing, is making a little wall section that goes here. It's really simple, should be fairly easy to put together. We're going to be making Jabba's throne itself, and the last thing are just two little sconces that sit in that back room. So it's pretty simple, so let's go ahead and jump into the table saw time lapse. I'm gonna have to cut the time lapse a little short. I don't know if it'll actually show up on camera, but it started raining and I had to really quickly clean up all of my tools and run back inside. So I'm going to go ahead and transition into some stuff that we can do inside, obviously because the weather isn't cooperating with me. Unfortunately, I didn't get all of the parts that I needed to cut out, and I definitely don't want to cut any of that foam inside because I'll never be able to clean up that mess. So let's go ahead and jump on into some indoor stuff. Alright, I've been toiling away for the past couple of hours working on some things that I think we can work on inside on this rainy day. And the first one that I've come up with is the vent, which is on the ceiling of the back room. And I'll throw up a picture of that. And what I've come up with is this right here. Is just kind of, this is actually chipboard, which is, it's basically like the same type of cardboard that you get on like a cereal box, which I've cut out and then folded into this vent shape here. And it's pretty simple when you break it down into its pieces. We've got this piece here, which surrounds the perimeter, and then I have 11 of these, which are folded and then become the slats. And one tip for anyone who's trying something similar to this at home is to lightly score the surface of your chipboard with an X-Acto knife to get really crisp folds. I'll show you here. So this one here has been cut, and as you can see, when you fold it on that line where you've scored, it gets a really nice crisp angle at that corner. Whereas on something like this that I haven't cut here, you can see if I, oh, actually have cut that one already. Let me actually get one that hasn't been cut. This one here, as you can see, it's really difficult to fold and get a really nice corner on there. So definitely when you're doing that, make sure to score. I think it definitely helps to get these really nice sharp corners everywhere. And I did just use super glue to put this together. I would have filmed it, but honestly, it's literally like probably an hour of me trying not to glue my fingers together. So it's kind of frustrating to watch. The other thing though that I've come up with to work on inside is the inner vent of the sconce on the back wall. And I'll throw up another picture again so you can see that. But what I've come up with is this here. So what I'm going to be doing is cutting this little circle out of this. And this is just stacked like EVA craft foam. And when you cut it out, you'll get something like this here. As you can see, it's got that really nice vent effect. Then I'm going to be surrounding it with a piece of chipboard, which I've rolled into a circle and then glued, which ends up looking like this. And then to finish it off, I'll just be sliding the vent piece in and then gluing that. And then, you know, we'll have more work to do on this eventually, but for now, I'll just leave it as this right here. All right, I finally got a break in the weather long enough to come out and do some foam work. These pieces here just have some sections that need to be cut out of them so that they fit into the diorama properly. And to do that, I'm going to be using this here. This is just like a free saw blade, a replaceable saw blade, and I'm going to be using it just in my hand like this. Know that that's not the way you're supposed to use this, and if you try this at home, please be careful and know that you're doing it at your own risk. You could end up cutting your fingers. So let's go ahead and jump on into time-lapse. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to be doing involves a tool that I have not shown off on the channel yet, and frankly, this is one of my favorites of all time. This is a belt sander, disc sander combo. This is like the cheapest one you can get. It's from Harbor Freight, but it is my favorite tool. It's absolutely amazing for kind of like carving away at foam or wood or plastic, you know, whatever you need to, and this thing is an absolute workhorse. For the price that I paid for this thing, it should have died out a long time ago, but it seems to be kicking it. So what we're going to be doing is carving this piece into 2 sconces. I'm going to be carving one shape and then cutting it in half and then doing a little bit of refining there. And then we're going to be doing just a little tiny bit of carving on what will eventually be Jabba's throne. And I'm sure some of you are probably wondering, why am I out on the ground in the middle of my yard? That is because this is going to be insanely messy, and I definitely don't want to be doing this inside or even inside the garage or anything like that. So let's go ahead and jump on into time-lapse. Alright, the last thing that we have to do is to assemble the parts of the wall sconce. Now, as you can see, after I was done on the belt sander, I used a 1-inch spade bit to drill a little recess out on the front of these, and that is for the vent piece that we made earlier. So that just slips right in there, just like that. I'll do it again for the other one. And then these things are pretty much ready to be hung up in the display. So let's go ahead and jump over to that. Alright, that about wraps it up for this episode. We managed to finish the final wall for the display, we made the basis for Jabba's throne, finished those sconces in the back, and made 2 vents that no one will probably ever see. And frankly, I'll be the first to admit that this episode has been a bit of a mess. Frankly, the weather has made it almost impossible to work on this thing, and I have really been struggling to get this episode out on time. It's definitely going to be a late night for me, but overall, I am happy with how everything has really turned out. You know, despite the setbacks, I think we managed to get everything that I set out to accomplish done, and we did actually manage to do these, which I wasn't planning to do until much later. So, I think this pretty much will wrap it up for the foam construction. There's really no other pieces that need to be cut out, so I think next episode we'll probably move on to either some more finishing or even some spackling, which is really exciting. So if you've enjoyed this episode, let me know by leaving a like and a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you like about these episodes and what you don't, so that I can improve them for next time. And also consider subscribing. That really helps out the channel. And it definitely shows me that you guys enjoyed these videos. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you later.